We're joined by Francesco Sassi. He's a professor of energy politics at the University of Oslo. Welcome back to the programme. Now, with only 8 LNG carriers exiting the Strait of Hormuz last month and Iran now threatening confiscation, how rapidly could Europe deplete its existing natural gas storage once the winter heating season begins?
The intensity of the winter, intensity of the cold in Europe, not just in the north of Europe, but also in the center and in the south, where there are some countries with large storage capacities, including Italy, which is right now one of the countries having the highest level of gas storage in Europe. This is increasing the sense of security of Europe, but on the other hand, Germany and the Netherlands have, in comparison, very low average natural gas storage. And this is really concerning because our political authorities somehow are trying to avoid responding to the crisis, the existing crisis, and the possibility that by March 2027, we will be seeing very low gas storage levels in these countries, affecting the prices for all the other markets in Europe. We need also to understand that Europe is more and more integrated in terms of energy markets. And this is really concerning, not just from an industrial and economic point of view, but also politically. Because at the point of an emergency, would Europe respond with a united voice, or will European governments try to reassert national interests? This is really an important.
And European buyers are now aggressively competing with Asian markets to secure alternative LNG supplies. Could this fierce bidding war push developing nations entirely out of the global energy market this winter?
This would not be a surprise. We have seen that happening in 2022 and 2023. That time crisis was just a European crisis in terms of natural gas, becoming a globalized crisis as much as European countries try to import all the available LNG volumes on markets. But right now, it's changing. The epicenter of the crisis is in Asia. And it's Asian markets that are driving the price surge. China, South Korea, Japan are the most important ones, but we do not forget India, Pakistan, and other countries in Southeastern Asia with very need to import LNG volumes alternative to the Qatar one that mostly, close to 90%, go on standard to Asian markets. And a bidding war is already there. The point is that this crisis is not really a surprise for anybody. Even 6 months ago, we could predict that the absence of Qatari LNG would create such a bidding war between Europe and Asia. One other question to make to policymakers is why they waited so much to consider this scenario as a crisis scenario. And at the same time, we are not hearing you and European policymakers talking about the emergency of this price increase that you showed up in the chart before. And this will be this will have huge consequences on the political scenario within Europe going ahead.
So given the specialized nature of LNG transport vessels, how long would it realistically take the global supply chain to reorganize its shipping routes to bypass the Strait of Hormuz?
So this is possible in the near term, and the absence of Qatari is too big to withstand with alternative natural gas pipelines, especially in the region. The UAE is projecting a possibility of a new pipeline and a new LNG export terminal on the eastern side of the country, outside the Strait of Hormuz, but at the same time, it will be close to Fujairah, and Fujairah is within the maritime zone that Iran wants to project power on. So the possibility that this infrastructure will also be targeted by Iran or Iranian proxies in the phase under construction will be a really likely possibility. And this makes even harder to think that the war can do without Qatari LNG before another crisis, or maybe more than one crisis, hit the market.
Professor Francesco Sassi, thank you very much for your insights.